Welcome class. Today my team and I will present to you Kahoot. Okay, so the history of Kahoot. Kahoot was created in March of 2013, which is relatively still new. It was only created 5 years ago. It was created by 4 talented entrepreneurs, Johan Brand, Jamie Brooker, Morten Versvis, and Osmond Furuth, with the Norwegian University of Technology and Science Department with the aid of Professor Alf Njwang. The goal of Kahoot was to unlock the deepest potential of each and every learner of all ages and in all contexts. And they do that by making fun learning magical, inclusive, engaging, and shareable through games. They have 3 principles: to socialize, to play, and to learn. And they also believe to exercise autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So what exactly is Kahoot? Kahoot is a game-based learning platform used by teachers. And Kahoot is a website accessible to anyone, but it's mostly used by educators. And Kahoot is gamification. If we take a look at the article written by Barcom and Al, they describe gamification as being, in addition to creating more enjoyable learning experiences, offers a unique insight into instructional design choices and student usage patterns. Kahoot can also be used for all subjects and not just for languages. It can be used for math and for sciences, for example. And it is also a fun and interactive website that teachers can use to create fun quizzes for their students. Finally, one of the reasons why Kahoot is so popular is because the teachers are allowed to create whatever quiz that they want for their learners.
Okay, so once you log into your account, you have 2 options when you want to play on Kahoot. You can either create a new one, or you can look for a new one. Of course, there are options here. What we recommend is just looking for a new one. Let's say here English. Then you have options here that you can use to refine the search. Let's take this one. Now, what's nice with this part is that you can see every single question before you click play, so you can prepare a little. And if you want to know, for example, you can see which ones are correct, which one is incorrect before even starting for every single picture of the test. You click on play to begin. At this point, you have the options here where you can either randomize your questions, etc. A lot of options. And you have to pick between the classic way or the team mode. So on the classic, everyone has one. Everyone just takes their own device to start playing. Now, we're waiting for the players to log in. This will appear on the screen that you will project to everyone. They have their PIN. Now I have 2 students that just connected, 3, and we can begin with the test. You can click them out, of course, if you don't like their name. Click on Start to begin. Remember that this screen needs to be visible for every single student. Now, let's wait to see what happens when they answer the questions. First question. You do have the option to skip a question if you want. We're waiting for them to pick. We see that they all picked the same answer, which is the right answer. I have 2 options here. I can either click next for the next question or just end the game. For the purpose of going fast, we're going to end the game right now. And as you can see, by scoring the speed, we have a scoreboard right there, a leaderboard. You get the results by clicking here. Options of playing again, leaderboard also. Now, the other thing you can also do, well, of course, after seeing the results, you can also create a Kahoot. If you want to create one, this button is always available. You click on Create. Of course, there are 4 types of Kahoot that you can start. For the purpose of speed, we're going to start with quiz. You always have to, one second. So you always have to have a title. It's mandatory. Also, a description. Mandatory also. You have to pick your audience and preferably have a picture to begin. Then you click on Go. And that's basically it. You add as many questions as you want. You fill in the questions. You can pick which ones are correct. You can have more than one that is correct or just one that is correct. Have a picture to also match with the question. And then lastly, you click on Next and you have created your question. Then you save it and you have your your whole questionnaire. That was it for how to use Kahoot.
In this activity, papers will be posted around the walls of the classroom, which will contain answers to the teacher's questionnaire. Students will be working in pairs to find and answer the questions as quickly as possible. One student will be in charge of walking, the runner, to find the answers, and the other will wait for his partner to have the answer to then post the correct answer on Kahoot. This is the writer. The rationale basically is interaction, and the computer is not only used for its own sake. So by having interaction and students interact amongst each other, they are more involved in their activity and enjoy it more.
In this activity, we will focus on teaching grammar with Kahoot. One of the options we have to create a Kahoot is Jumble, which consists in organizing items. In this example, these items could be parts of a sentence that the students need to organize to form a grammatically correct sentence. In this example, each question includes a statement, an image, and the 4 parts of the sentence. To have a further practice, the teacher can ask the students to create their own Kahoot as a homework. Here we have 2 examples of how the activity could look like. We have the image at the top, the options at the bottom, and the students can see their options on their phones. The rationale behind it. By having the students do the Jumble Kahoot, they are having the opportunity to access to a structured input and practice the grammar by organizing the sentence. On the other hand, when they design their own Kahoot, they are developing a production practice to reinforce their grammar knowledge. The activity 3 would consist of using Kahoot to teach vocabulary. It is important to say that the activity is suitable to any topic. In this example, the activity was about occupations. The students are provided with a statement for each question, an image, and 4 possible answers. For example, in the first question, the statement is, "This is a picture of Anne," and they need to choose the right answer among 4 possible answers. Here we have 2 pictures, 2 screenshots of how the activity could look like. In this one, we have the image of an archaeologist, and in this one, an image of a guard. The platform offers an opportunity to download the results of each quiz, allowing the teacher to realize in which vocabulary the students are struggling and in which one they are doing good. Another feature of Kahoot is the ghost mode, which allows the students to do the activity for a second time, but playing against their last developments. This provides them the chance to realize how much they have learned.
So about the evolution of Kahoot. Among its advantages, Kahoot is really simple and easy to use for both teachers and students. For the teachers, it uses the level 2 of Barcom and allows teachers' involvement in creating using cold material. And it can be also adapted to suit a really large audience, from beginners to advanced, younger and older students anywhere in the world. Kahoot is really easy to use, and it will fit them all. It can also support social constructivism learning. So if the students are working in teams, they will draw on each other's knowledge to answer the questions. And if the teacher, for example, is using Kahoot at the beginning of a unit or a chapter, well, he can activate the students' prior knowledge. About the input, Kahoot gives the opportunity for the teacher to make specific targeted input more salient. So the teachers, they can highlight specific words. They can also add picture to make a specific vocabulary more salient and more meaningful for their learners. And finally, it includes many gamified elements, which we have time pressure, score, and leaderboard, socialization, and instant feedback. The limitations of Kahoot. Well, first of all, it is not possible for their learners to interact with a real audience in their targeted language with Kahoot. Kahoot cannot be used in poor SES settings, since it will require a lot of mobile devices. It will fit mostly visual learners, since the students will have to read the questions. They have pictures to support, but there's no audio with Kahoot unless the teacher uses a video. And about the customization, well, the customization is really poor, since it only uses the level 2 of Barcom. So basically, the quiz format are limited to multiple answers and drag and drop questions. Also, the feedback are really unpersonalized. Basically, Kahoot will only tell the student if he answered the right or the wrong question. And if he provided the wrong answer, Kahoot will simply give him the right answer without further explanation. And finally, it uses mostly the passive language skills, which the first one is reading. Basically, the students will have to read the questions and to answer them. And they can also use their listening skill if they're watching a segment of a video, since teacher It can also embed a specific segment of a video in Kahoot. But the students won't be really speaking unless they will be working in teams, and they won't be writing unless they create their own Kahoot. Because when the students answer the questions, they simply click on the right color. They don't have to actually write and type their answer. So for these reasons, we believe that Kahoot should still be used in a classroom in pairs or groups with the teacher, so the teacher can actually compensate for the limitations of the application.